Rural Alaska, a place of seasonal changes and traditions. A world unknown to many, but important to those who live here. A place considered remote, but not entirely. A place of unique challenges, and where people are searching for ways to adjust to the world that surrounds them.
I feel very strongly about being in this program. It was mentioned to me by this other fellow that's in it. It's a good friend of mine, because he explained what it was and who was in it, and I thought, I think I would like that. I know a number of the people, and I do. I absolutely hits home.
Esther Combs is a student in the Rural Development Degree Program, a program offered by the University of Alaska Department of Alaska Native and Rural Development.
After I get my degree in rural development, I'd like to take that experience and work not only for my region, but for any rural community that might need some assistance.
Hi.
Students can work toward a bachelor's or a master's degree.
We have the bachelor's program with over 100 graduates now, and we have a new master's program with 25 students enrolled in its first year, so we're very excited about that.
One way to earn the Rural Development degree is here on the campus of the University of Alaska Fairbanks.
Since it was so small and compact and everything was so close, that's primarily why I stayed in Fairbanks and on the campus to get my BA in Rural Development.
It's been a good experience staying on campus because I have access to a lot of resources here.
But not all students can or want to stay on a campus away from their rural homes to get a college degree.
You know, going off to the urban centers was never appealing to my husband. So if they didn't have the program here, then I probably wouldn't have received my bachelor's, nor would I be working towards my master's.
In 1994, it was expanded to the applied field-based program to reach out to rural Alaska to address the need of students who had been to school on campus but had stopped out for whatever reason and gone home, usually for family responsibilities or community responsibilities.
Vera Metcalf was born and raised in Savunga, a village on St. Lawrence Island in the Bering Straits. Currently, she lives in Nome and is the executive director of the Eskimo Walrus Commission.
The thought of going on campus and 2 years away from my community probably discouraged me from going forward, but here you're here in distance, and you have an instructor in Fairbanks or Anchorage and you're still here, and it's kind of neat.
Over 90% of the rural development graduates find employment in their home communities.
Right immediately after graduating, I moved back home to Uzinki, and because I really didn't know what to do. And actually I got a job working part-time at the school and part-time at the tribal council. And so it kind of fit perfectly with being a rural development major.
Being a hunter, I really enjoy being outside and learning about our culture and wildlife and some other issues. But I saw the outline in the catalog and said, man, that's what it is. That's what's for me. Instead of petroleum engineering or something similar to that, it kind of pulled me right in.
Berta Wilson grew up in the village of Nook, 20 miles outside of Nome, near Safety. She is retired.
I'd like to call the Nome Joint Utility Board regular meeting.
But also very involved in her community. She is a graduate of the RD Bachelor's program and has become an instructor for the program at the Northwest campus.
There's no reason why our own local people should not be teachers. They should hold jobs as managers of their native corporations, accountants for their native corporations, tribal administrators, land managers. And I believe the rural development program does prepare very effectively to work at these settings, and it has prepared me and it has prepared my daughter.
since I work for Quark, which is a Native nonprofit organization, my degree has really helped things I learned, how to do grant writing and things like that have really helped. My emphasis area was in local government administration, which is basically what I'm doing at Quark.
The Rural Development Program is kind of designed for students to sit in the middle of their village or hometown or large town, wherever they come from. An RD student can sit in the middle. They can look all around them, and they have now the abilities to identify who the major actors are in their community. It's like, this is the states over here, the federal government's here, the local tribal government's here, and the student, as they begin to get further into their BA program, realizes these relationships and the impacts that these relationships have on themselves and their community, and they become aware of all the bigger issues that are going on.
The program is especially designed for mature and non-traditional students committed to serving rural Alaska.
The courses and the curriculum that was developed for the program gave us out here in the rural communities an opportunity to take courses where it would directly apply to what goes on in our rural areas.
I have already applied some of the things that I've learned. I've been able to input them into the conferences, the Economic Development Conference that we have every April. I think I can tell you that I learned more in rural development through the seminars that are being held throughout the state of Alaska, and have visited places that I never would have visited that have helped open my eyes to what's going on around Alaska.
John Handelin is a lifelong resident of Nome and a former mayor.
There are students from around the state that are dealing with the same issues, and the ability to get into some seminars and to network with these people just is another excellent part of this program. We find that we have the same needs and objectives that are happening in different areas, and being able to work and share those experiences really is of great benefit, I think.
I enjoyed my undergraduate studies in rural development. I just really enjoyed the program so much that I was just really excited when I'd asked, well, why don't we have a master's program so I can continue this fun?
We have a 30-credit master's program now, which will take probably 2 to 3 years for our students, again, most of whom are mature students living at home, taking distance courses, and working full-time.
The coursework is usually conducted through audio conference classes, but especially in the master's program, seminar classes are required.
We also have these intensive face-to-face seminars for our distance students, so they build a community by attending these seminars, which last 5 or 6 days. Each one has a particular theme, things like Bering Sea fisheries, co-management, indigenous oral traditions, things like that are high profile and of great interest. And those allow us to bring in not only our own faculty, but also the best faculty we can find anywhere in the country or even in the world as instructors, and it provides a really rich environment for our distance students.
Barry Tolkien is an internationally recognized folklorist.
At first, when I was taking this all down, I was thinking, here's the real Navajo story about the origin of snow. And suddenly I realized at the end of it that it wasn't the Navajo story about snow. It was something that Little Wagon had probably made up. And it was not about where snow came from. It was about how a young man ought to behave.
All of our seminars, generally, while they are unique on specific topics, they fit in generally into the one of the 6 concentration areas, or one or more. And then they can do individual things, and some of them are working in the field that they're interested in, and they're trying to just gain more knowledge and enhance their skills in a certain area.
In Northwest Alaska, the community of Kotzebue has benefited from the leadership of several RD students. One of them is lifelong resident Marie Green. Her family is from this area, and her commitment to the community is strong.
So you're enjoying basketball camp?
Yeah, yes. I like it.
Oh!
She is the president and CEO of the Nana Corporation.
Master's program has allowed me to
broadened, allowed me to think globally. And that's what I've appreciated. We tend to, focus on, what we can do at the local level, but the master's program, because of the courses that they're offering, whether it's community development strategies, circumpolar issues, those are the classes I'm looking forward to this coming semester. It's allowed me to broaden my horizon more than anything.
But one of the key elements that we're trying to focus on in the master's program is a growing awareness of national and international context in which rural development is occurring in Alaska. And so we've had a study tour, for example, with students going to Geneva with Gordon Puller, our director.
The central part of the trip was a week at the United Nations in Geneva, where they were able to observe and participate in the annual session of the UN Working Group on Indigenous Populations. In fact, 2 of our students gave what they call interventions, statements at the session on subsistence in Alaska.
As helpers, when we go into our own communities, we're always, like for myself, running into folks that need particular kinds of assistance that I sometimes feel inadequate in helping them because I don't have the necessary knowledge either.
We actually have a special seminar for our master's students. When they enter the program, we have a symposium. It's a Circumpolar Indigenous Leaders Symposium, and all of our master's students are expected to participate in that so that they have a common body of knowledge and understanding as well as a personal connection to their fellow students. And again, we're able to bring in best faculty to participate in that, both from our own university and beyond. And that really sets them off on a good footing to be able to complete the master's program.
When I first entered the program and got to meet all the other master's students, and that was so important, is just meeting these people, getting to know them. We told our stories and just got a feel for who they are, why they're in the program.
By the time they reached Popak Valley, it was springtime, and they said this was the most beautiful country that they had ever seen. It is. Not because I came from there, but it is.
There's a variety of learning at our seminars. There's informal learning where we have guest speakers coming in and teaching. So we're sitting there and absorbing and listening to them, their stories and their experiences. So that brings to us again another type of validating cultural learning styles.
You guys stand up too?
One of the concerns that I have is that how can we, indigenous peoples of Russia can become a subject of decision making, What I admire in this program about being around the people who are like-minded, We are talking, we have same concerns, we are all coming from rural areas. We can relate to many issues that we are studying,
And I've just found so many ways to kind of incorporate some of the things I've learned and, organizationally, and, you look at, when you're studying organizations, you kind of look at the organizations that you've been involved with and see where, maybe there were some idiosyncrasies.
I think that's the whole point of this rural development department, is to have people who live in rural areas be able to shape the way development will occur, and it's constantly occurring and will continue to.
Anna Hoffman is one of the first 2 students to complete her Rural Development Master's degree in the new program.
Seriously, without this program, without the distance delivery, I wouldn't have my master's and I probably wouldn't pursue it. It's neat that it's offered this way and you're still able to stay at home and do what else is important for you.
Yeah, this is a different way of doing things. It's not the same old university type of education. Students can gain the same skills and develop the same background, but the approach is different, and it's recognizing that all people are not the same and that people have different needs. And certainly people who live in remote parts of rural Alaska have needs that are unique, and also that they may want to earn university degrees and enhance their skills and background just as anyone else would.